For the first time in its 120-year history, Ford Motor Company is opening its car vault, allowing rare access to some of its nearly 500 vehicles worldwide that make up its heritage fleet. Vehicles that showcase the company's legacy, ingenuity, and evolution. It's a collection that includes concept cars that never hit the road to some pieces of Ford history that employees literally hide away. Chris Van Cleve takes us inside a very unique time capsule.
All it takes is just... Oh, wow.
That's a taste of what 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds feels like.
This is a statement piece.
Oh, for sure.
And rolling around suburban Detroit with Ford's Nick Terz's this Ford GT was definitely saying something.
It was about going back to show that we have the engineering capability that's as good or better than the rest of the world.
Interesting to watch the reactions of people driving by.
This is one of those cars that is beloved by all. It elicits an emotion.
Terz's worked on the GT program, and this was one of its early test cars.
This car will do 217 miles an hour.
That head turner is among nearly 500 Ford vehicles special enough for the company to keep. Nearly 200 are in the U.S. About 50 are now on display in what's usually the executive parking garage at Ford's Dearborn, Michigan headquarters. From a recreated Model T to a 1938 ambulance and some cars that never hit the road, like this 2007 Ford Airstream concept imagined as a plug-in hybrid hydrogen fuel cell crossover.
We keep the best of what we've done in the past as a way to learn and for the future.
Ted Ryan is Ford's historian and says this heritage collection started with an email from the boss in December 2023.
Go find the best of the vehicles in America and find a way to get them together so that our employees can learn from what we've done and enjoy the best of what Ford has done over the years.
Why didn't they do that already?
Henry Ford II had a policy that we build cars, we don't collect them. That had sort of been the mantra. So everything we built was either sold or given away or auctioned.
So Ryan scoured warehouses like the one we visited in 2017 that was home to a collection of concept cars and race cars. And as word spread, employees flagged him to other vehicles that had essentially been tucked away.
We had people coming out of the woodwork. The very first F-150 and the very last Mustang built at Dearborn Assembly, the plant managers had sort of hidden those cars. They knew the significance of the first and the last. Now they've got a home.
Folks were hiding parts of Ford history.
Hiding parts of Ford history because they knew it was significant. Without our employees, without their passion for the cars they built, we wouldn't have a fleet. Without the plant managers hiding those vehicles, it doesn't exist.
Ford CEO Jim Farley got the idea after visiting this Ford facility in the UK. Across the pond, the team had been carefully preserving Ford's British history for decades, curating a collection of about 130 vehicles, from Ford's early models to a vintage Mustang, and many that never made it over here.
The thing with the collection is it's been very much a hidden secret for Ford over the years.
Len Keane oversees the UK collection.
This evokes emotions in people. This is their first car, the car their parents had.
A similar heritage fleet calls Melbourne, Australia home. Ford has been making cars down under for more than 100 years.
People think of like, well, that's the past and this is the current. That's not how it works, actually. Everything evolves off itself.
Like this yellow Ford Bronco concept that evolved into the Raptor line of high-performance pickups. In fact, there are plenty of pickups in the Heritage Collection. The prototype electric F-150 President Biden drove.
This sucker's quick.
This Atlas concept became the F-250, and copious concept cars. While this 2004 Bronco concept almost made it to production, it did make it into a movie with The Rock. And this one just looks otherworldly. Also, many a Mustang, from number 10 million to one that once sat atop the Empire State Building.
It was supposed to have been destroyed. The communications manager didn't want it destroyed, so he put it in a warehouse in the middle of Michigan. They kept not only the car, they kept the fake elevator they used to practice to make sure they could fit the car pieces and get them up to the 86th floor.
And this is a 1993 SVT Mustang Cobra R, number one of only 107 made. But not all were success stories. This electric Ranger was not a winner.
Great story about experiment and failing, The Ranger failed. It didn't succeed, but what did we learn from it? Well, we learned we have to get better with our battery technology.
Eventually, the collection will have its own facility here in the U.S.
Had to have a story, otherwise you're just keeping it just to keep stuff, and we're not hoarders.
Is there a fine line between being a historian and a hoarder?
Yes, there's a fine line because you want to keep everything.
For now, the cars are on display mainly for Ford employees to study, track design evolution and innovation, or just look for fresh inspiration. But on rare days, like Bring Your Kids to Work Day or a recent Cars and Coffee weekend, the Heritage fleet can be seen by the rest of us. And it's a hit with car fans.
By far the GT's in the back because of like how fast they can go. Mine's the really big Bronco because like I'm like literally shorter than it.
Of all ages.
It is a really neat experience to especially see the concept cars because that's a little insider view that nobody gets to see.
What kind of car do you want? You want a Ford truck?
It does.
A truck of the future that may just be inspired by this collection of Ford's past. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Chris Van Cleve in Dearborn, Michigan.
I love that as we talk about automating everything, it was the people at Ford that were the ones that made sure that we've hung on to those.
And the pride that they have in building those. I have to tell you, I covered that Empire State Building
car.
Take apart and rebuild on top. It was fascinating. And everybody on board was so excited about that moment, the 50th anniversary of the Mustang.